want to be approached. I definitely want to be approached. I would love nothing more than a guy to approach me, to have the balls to come up and say, hey, how are you? I don't know whether these guys are scared, intimidated, nervous. Do they think that they're going to be annoying? Because you're not annoying. All a woman wants is to be desired. Am I wrong? It's nothing sexier than a confident man who goes after what they want. A man in his masculine who takes the lead, takes control of the situation.
She wants to be approached. She wants men to talk to her. Not all men, just some men. Confident men in their masculine. She wants them to approach her. Of course she does. Like she says, what woman doesn't want to feel desirable? Women love being approached by men like that. But you know, there's not a lot of TikToks of women out there saying, I want to be approached by more men who are short, who are shy and socially awkward. I want to be approached by more men who are just really broke. You see, every single woman is a hypocrite if she makes the claim that she has rules that apply for how men are meant to interact with her. That's not how this works. No woman is consistent. That's impossible. The reality is that she has a different set of rules that she applies to each individual man based on the value that she sees in him. A woman might say, I don't like men who act too macho, or I don't like men who make sexist jokes. I would never tolerate that from a man. And that's true for some men. She certainly wouldn't tolerate it from some loser chump guy. If he tries making a sexist joke, she's going to shame him until the end of time because she sees no value in him. But what if she listened to that joke coming from a different man, a man that she judged to be very high quality? Like say he was really good looking. Do you think that she'd be as harsh in her response to him? Let's ask a woman and find out.
How good looking does a man need to be in order to get away with being offensive?
I hate this because it's happened to me, like they're really handsome, so you let them get away with murder and stuff like that, but you shouldn't let them just because they're handsome. But handsome men have tons of leeway. They get away with a lot. Before
anybody starts judging women for this, check yourself because men absolutely do this too. It's human nature. What, you don't think that you're more likely to do a favor for a girl who's really pretty and really feminine? Give me a break. We all do this. We treat people based on the value that we perceive them to have. And women can be particularly ruthless in this regard. And yes, there are high quality women who treat everybody with dignity and respect. Shout out to you awesome ladies. But other women have been known to completely change their personalities based on the man that they're interacting with, operating under a completely different rule set. If she's with some hot celebrity guy, she's giggling like a schoolgirl. She's twiddling her hair. She's laughing at his jokes. She's a picture of feminine submission. When he reaches out and grabs her by the waist, initiating that physical contact, she loves it. She's in heaven. But a different man is going to get a completely different treatment. Some short, ugly dude just accidentally brushes her arm with his arm as he walks past, and she looks at him with a disgust that's usually reserved for like a disease-riddled rodent. If you've never done this, I highly encourage you do this as a social experiment. When you're at a party or some crowded event, watch how women respond to getting accidentally bumped and knocked, because women will wait to react until they've seen who it was that accidentally knocked them. You know, she turns around and she sees it's this really tall, good-looking guy. She's like, oh, no problem. She's all smiles. But if it was some fat, short, ugly, hideous guy, she's going to have a completely different response. This is one of the reasons why the dating market is so brutal for men. Men are so confused. They don't know what the rules are. But that's because women have different rules for each different man. So he doesn't know how to behave, but what he doesn't realize is that so often it's not about what you as a man are doing. It's about what kind of a man you are while you're doing it.
Why are girls lying? Listen, I'm going to expose the women here. I'm sorry I have to do it. Women are talking shit to you guys. We do not sleep with somebody that we're not attracted to. We don't care if you're nice. If a sexy guy is sleeping on his mom's couch and he's got game and he's sexy, a woman will sleep with him. She won't friend zone him. But she'll friend zone a nice guy who does all the right things and she's not sexually attracted to. She'll take your money, she'll take your time, and then she'll tell you goodbye.
As a man, it's not about what you do, it's about who you are. You see questions like, should I buy her flowers? Should I pay for dinner? Should I text her back? When you listen to women like this, you realize that at a certain level, these questions are pointless. Success with women is not about what you do, it's about who you are. If women see value in you, you'd be shocked with how much you can get away with.
I'd rather be with him and he treat me horribly wrong than be with you and you treat me right.
You hear women say things like this and you think this makes no sense. Why would she prefer a man who treats her badly to a man who treats her well? Again, you've got to get this into your head. For women, it's not about what you do, it's about who you are. Let's say you're a coffee barista and you're a short, ugly, socially awkward guy. Then women are going to view your job as pathetic, like you've got no ambition. They're just going to take that as confirmation that you're a loser. But let's say that same job, being a coffee barista, is held by a man who's tall, good-looking, confident, has game. That same job is suddenly going to make him seem edgy and cool, like he's this untamable free spirit of a man. That's how women will interpret that, and it's the same fucking job. It's not about what you do, it's about who you are. And you'd be shocked at what women are willing to accept if they perceive you to be high quality.
What's a red flag in a guy you're secretly attracted to?
When they have no friends.
What's a red flag in a guy that you're secretly attracted to?
When they're mean to everyone else but me.
What's a red flag in a guy that you're secretly attracted to?
Assholes.
This hypocrisy and lack of consistency from women might annoy you. The fact that they make rules for some men and break rules for others, that might be frustrating. But I'm here to tell you that this is actually a good thing. This is good news. Once you know this, then you can start to customize your life. You can dictate to women the rules that apply to you and make sure that they're favorable. You can set the frame, you can create the boundaries, you can create the expectations. I'm going to explain how to do that in just a moment, but first I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Bathmate. For a long time, penis pumps were dismissed as a sort of gag product just used to make your dick bigger. But there's so much more than that, and I'm so glad to have Bathmate as a sponsor of this channel as an opportunity to raise awareness about this and to reduce stigma around penis health. A lot of men, as they get older, they lose strength in their erections. You see, the penis is like a muscle. It has to be exercised to be in good health. That's why you get random boners throughout the night. It's good for the health of your penis to have blood flowing in and out. That's what helps erections. That is what Bathmate products do. You use it in the shower with a vacuum water seal, and you use it to draw blood into your cock. You give your penis a workout and it results in a very strong erection. I'm not a fan of using pharmaceuticals to treat erectile dysfunction. They have a lot of side effects. Bathmate products are a safe and natural alternative. A lot of erectile dysfunction issues are psychological, but using a Bathmate product and giving yourself a really strong erection is really good for your mindset. It boosts your confidence to look down and see your cock rock hard. Bathmate products are high quality. They're FDA inspected, they're manufactured in the UK, and they have thousands of positive reviews. People love this product. Bathmate is so confident that you'll love it that they're even offering a 60-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. There really is no risk in trying it. If you're curious, click the link in the description box below and give it a shot. Okay, back to the video. We have established that women do not have rules for men, they have rules for each individual man. And here's the good news. You have a lot of power for determining what those rules are going to be. A lot of this comes down to holding frame, setting expectations. In other words, you tell people how you expect that they should interact with you. Women are actually very easily influenced. They want to follow your lead. Yes, when she first meets you, she's going to have an impression about what kind of a guy you are and the way that she's going to interact with you. But if you lead her in a different direction, one that's more favorable and positive to you, she's likely to follow. Because women, even more so than men, are very socially hardwired. Even though she might have a difficult time explaining exactly why, if you present yourself as a high quality man and you do so with absolute conviction, it just emanates from the essence of who you are, she's going to have a very difficult time not falling into that frame and following your lead. To treat you differently than that would be a huge risk to her. If she doesn't treat you positively, then she runs the risk of being judged to be a bitch, someone who's really bitter and resentful. She fears that. She doesn't want to be out of step with the social consensus. She wants to hold the same opinion as her friends. Women crave social acceptance. Conformity is a place of safety for women. There are massive reward incentives inside her brain, hardwired from evolution, encouraging her to just go with the flow. So even if her first impression of you is not that positive, if you present yourself with a frame of being a very high quality guy, she might shit test it a few times just to make sure it's legit, but in all likelihood, she's just going to go with it. So let me ask you this question. How do you see yourself? What kind of a man are you? What are the rules that you have for how women are to interact with you? What are your standards? What are your expectations? What are your boundaries? And what are the consequences for a woman overstepping those boundaries? Because as we have seen, if a man does not clearly communicate what his boundaries are and specify what the consequences are for overstepping those boundaries, then there'll be no shortage of women willing to just use him up and spit him out.
Boyfriend, so.
Wait, ex-boyfriend?
Yep.
She calls us friends, but I don't consider us friends.
What do you guys consider each other?
Technically still figuring it out, but I'm the one she calls when she needs to cry. I've tried.
It's a work in progress.
It's
So
one,
is everything.
it's one work in progress.
So you guys are just trying to work on things.
See how it goes.
I'm trying to work on things.
If he gave you a guilt-free pass to sleep with anybody in the world, would you use it?
Yeah.
On who?
Zac Efron, Josh Bowman, some celebrity, hot celebrity. You turn that down? Mm-mm. Couldn't do it.
Look at what he tolerates, being called friends when he's romantically still interested in her, being there for her emotionally when she needs to cry. He's working on the relationship, she makes no effort. She happily talks about having sex with other men in front of him, on camera, completely humiliating him. You can tell that he's frustrated. He doesn't like the way that she's treating him, but ultimately he's still with her. He's still trying to work things out with this woman. In essence, he has communicated to her, you are allowed to treat me this way. I'm still going to be there for you. Those are the rules for interacting with this guy. I mean, I feel bad for him, but you reap what you sow. What he's discovering is that it's very hard to get a woman to change the way that she treats you from one set of rules to another. If she's used to treating you one type of way, if you try and shift that up, it's going to be very difficult. Millions of men discover this every single year when they are used to interacting with a woman from the friend zone. And so even though they're not in a relationship, she doesn't have sex with him, he does all these favors for her. He's there for her emotionally. He's giving her all of these boyfriend benefits, but not expecting much in return. And so when he suddenly declares that he has a romantic interest in her, and he's like, hey, I want you to be there for me too. I want you to do me favors. I want us to start a sexual relationship. She's not going to go along with that because she's like, no, that's not the rules that I have for interacting with you. You see, I used to get all that stuff from you for free. So now to change those rules, it's going to feel like a bad deal for me, and I'm not interested in that. And here's the crazy part, is that she would not feel that way if he'd established different rules from the outset. It's like if you first get hired at a company as a manager, everybody thinks of you as a manager, no problem. But if you started at that same company as like a low-level clerk, even if you work really, really hard, it's going to be difficult for anybody to take you seriously when you want to get promoted to being a manager because everyone's used to seeing you as the chump, the guy at the bottom of the food chain. In the same way, if you start off your interactions with women as a simp, some chump who's willing to be friend-zoned, it's going to be very difficult for you to ever convince her to see you as like this highly masculine, confident, sex-worthy guy. No, that's not going to happen. Those aren't the rules that she has for you. And the best experience that you can get from a woman, she's not going to give that away to just anybody. Women aren't going to be sweet, submissive, and feminine to just any old guy. But if it's a high-quality man who makes clear that his personal rules for how you're allowed to interact with him as his girlfriend is that a woman should behave this way, lots of women will gladly take up that position. They won't feel like it's a bad deal. They'll feel lucky, like they're grateful to be the ones that get to play by those rules. Women respect a man who knows his worth, who knows what he wants, who isn't afraid to have standards. And if he can clearly come with that energy from the beginning, then she's going to be happy and she'll know what it is that she's signed up for.
Show me an alpha man that is in his true alpha, not in his wounded masculine, but his full-on masculine, and watch me become a sweet, soft little girl.
Right.
I need a man that is fully in his energy, masculine energy. And when a man gives that woman that feeling, that safety, that energy, that love, you can feel it. Then a woman deassembles her masculine energy and she falls into her feminine and she becomes a child with that man.
Now, for you ambitious guys who really want to understand this stuff at a nuanced level so you don't fuck up your next relationship, you probably want to know what is the right way to communicate to a woman that she has fallen short of your standards or she has crossed a boundary. How do you tell a woman that in a way that doesn't make her defensive but makes her more attracted to you? In my experience, it's not that 90% of men don't know how to do this. It's like 99% of men don't get this right. But it's actually a very simple skill once you've had it explained to you. That's what I do in the Patreon version of this video. I give a full guide on how to do that. What you see here on YouTube, these are just the short and abridged versions of my videos. The full versions are available on Patreon. I tend to put all the kind of critical women stuff in the start of my videos, and then for the guys who are interested in like the male self-improvement, really want to go into depth and nuance on this stuff, that's in the full-length versions of those videos. If that's what you want access to, then come over to Patreon.